changes in 2026.
It's a pretty color. So pretty.
Yes, very pretty. There we go. So changes in 2026. These are going to be monthly social media power hours. So I am going to kind of keep everyone updated on what's new, what's going on. And then the other thing I want to do, and I said this in the email yesterday that I sent out, is goals and accountability. I don't want to just do this to share stuff with you and then us kind of have this knowledge and do nothing with it. The goal of the social media power hours every month is that we also hold each other accountable. We share our goals and then we follow up as a community and say, okay, did you stick to that goal? So I do thank everyone for participating in these. The 6 sessions that we did in the winter time, we've done them before, but this year I felt that they were just that more important because we talked so much about social media. So yeah, I didn't want to lose that momentum, and that's how we kind of came up with the monthly thing. So today we're going to be talking about a few of the new features that are on Instagram Reels and Instagram in general. That's the most change I've seen since we were together in November, December. So that's really what we're going to focus on. I also feel that the majority of people have Facebook and Instagram. Not everyone has TikTok, so I'm not going to focus so heavily on that. But if there is something on another app that you care to share at the end of the presentation, then please speak up. So yeah, some of the things we're going to be talking about is how to cut those awkward silences in videos in Instagram Reels. We're going to be talking about the introduction of the auto scroll feature that consumers have now and that you should be aware of if you're making content, especially watch time. So we're going to kind of define watch time and talk about why it's important and how to ensure that you're doing it properly. And obviously, we're going to talk about the algorithm. That's like the key word when we're talking about social media. But there's some really cool features that have come out about each person's individual algorithm. And you can also preview Reels now. So if you are on a team or you are working with me and you've done something on Instagram, but you don't want to post it yet because you're not sure, you can now send it out as a preview. So we're going to talk about that. And then I've added a feature in here that's not specifically in a social media app, but it's for people. I mean, I'm going to focus on iPhones, but I'm sure there's an Android version of this too. But how to limit screen time. And pro tip, if you are a parent or friends with parents with young kids that are new to devices, this is also something that you could take with you and just share. So cut silences. So how to use and why to use it. So how to use is when you are adding videos to an Instagram reel. So you're in Instagram, you've started working on a reel, and you have this video. My example here is with Scott. It is like, I don't know, probably a 2-minute video. And there's a couple spaces in there where he pauses to reflect or collect his thoughts and then continues. So there's a feature here that you can see down here. It says new, it says cut silences. If you click on that while you're editing your video, it will actually automatically remove the pieces of video that are silent. So it makes the editing process a heck of a lot easier for you. And the reason that we want to kind of cut out those silences, or for those of you that have seen online, the millennial pause, which is starting a video with just silence, that's been coined the millennial pause. You have 2 seconds to grab someone's attention online. And we'll see why auto scroll and all these things contribute to why it's only 2 seconds. But in the short of it, we only have small attention spans now when we're on social media and in general. But if you are starting with a silence or millennial pause, or you have silences before you get to your main point, you've lost your audience, and we don't want to lose the audience. So if you are new to editing or you use Instagram a lot, but you find that you've you're not getting a lot of engagement, you find maybe your videos have those bits of silences or ums or anything like that, editing in Instagram is super easy, it's free, and they've clearly created tools to help you. So I wanted to point that out to everyone that this new cut silences button on the bottom is definitely something that you should be using if you find yourself making these videos that have these millennial pauses. So auto scroll. Instagram is introducing auto scroll, and this is something that is unsurprising if you've been attending our social media power hours. So we've talked about the low attention span and the high value of watch time, which we're going to get into as we continue talking. But Meta has introduced auto scroll. So this is very similar to anyone that uses YouTube or sometimes TikTok, but mostly YouTube, is if you are watching a video and you have autoplay on, it will automatically play the next video that's similar to the one you just watched. So this introduction onto Instagram is making sure that the content that people are watching is followed by similar content. And while this is not something that you personally need to turn on, it's something that you need to consider as someone that's making content, specifically videos. Instagram is making it so people don't really have to be paying attention. They don't have to sit there and scroll. They can turn on auto scroll, turn their phone on, put it down, walk away. I do this all the time. I have played the same video on my phone probably 17 times because I've put it down while I'm watching a video. You know, the bagel comes up in the toaster, my kettle goes off, whatever, and I walk away. And I can just continuously hear the same video. I'm like, I really gotta go turn that off. So putting on auto scroll means those videos just automatically keep going. And what something to consider is, are you making content that is similar to what is tracking in your niche? So we're in the real estate algorithm, let's say, but whatever your niche is, so specifically, I think I can speak for Elizabeth, first-time home buyers, that's kind of what our content is created for. First-time home buyers, renters, that's who I work with now, so that's what a lot of my content is for. Julia, maybe your niche would be downtown condo sellers. Herb, can you think of maybe like what your niche would be, just to give another example?
Well, my feed is full of tech, so
Okay.
yeah, I love tech stuff, so I'm always
Okay.
watching
So
videos like that. Yeah.
there you go. So that's definitely a niche to consider, is the people that are using tech. I mean, everyone's got to participate in a real estate transaction at some point. So talking about tech and its integration into real estate could be somewhere where you really draw attention. And is your content easy to understand, but engaging enough that consumers will stay? So this is why we talked about previously those hooks, getting those hooks in at the beginning, getting those captions at the start. I go back to the example that we talked about where the Cronin real estate team, they did a video of walking through Costco, and they put the name of the new Costco on the screen, and the hook was, I walked around the new, Mississauga Costco business center, so you don't have to. And Chantel went through everything, and that gained so much traction because it's engaging and it's easy enough to understand that consumers will stay. So that was a really good example. I've seen other great examples of just kind of in your community, what's going on, what's new. I know not so much a reel, but Matthew had some really good traction with the small businesses. Matthew, are you still doing that with the small
I
businesses?
actually have one to post after this meeting.
Awesome. So have you seen a lot of engagement from that, or anyone
Yeah,
commenting?
there are a lot of new people because it goes on pages that I wouldn't usually be associated with. And even like I went to a party on the weekend, and some of them were talking about it because they saw it from another person's page, I guess.
That's awesome. So yeah, those are when I'm talking about kind of that niche content, that's more so what you want to focus on because not everyone is doing it, but it is related to real estate and the community and building your brand and stuff. So with auto scroll, like I said, it's not something you personally have to turn on. It's just something to be aware of. And that's why watch time is important. So what is watch time? Watch time is how long a video is watched on a screen until the viewer scrolls away. Usually a video is not watched for its entirety unless you really know the person or it's incredibly engaging. Watch time of each video should be a minimum of 30% of the length of the video. So this example on the left, I have under watch time. So these are the real insights from my professional Instagram account, which you all have. So the average watch time for this reel was 6 seconds, which is great. So view rate past the first 3 seconds, this reel was almost 63%. My typical reel is 35%. So what this says to me is this reel did really well. And if this reel is, 10 seconds, then that's more than 30%. That's awesome. So this example breaks down the average watch time on this reel versus my others. And that is how, this is an example of how you determine if your content is tracking, if your content is sitting with these consumers and really resonating with them, they want to follow you, they want to continue watching, stuff like that. So this watch time, we've talked about how likes are down, follows are down, comments and sharing are what you want to see along with watch time. So if you're not getting a lot of likes on your posts, if you're not getting a lot of new followers, don't worry about it. The way that Instagram is now and Facebook and TikTok is how many people come across your video or come across your post and interact with it, meaning they view it, they comment, they share. So the watch time, some things that we talk about for watch time, obviously the hooks, engaging content, but different content. How many people have seen like the same video by the 17 different realtors? Or how many people saw the same video about their Christmas or their New Year's or whatever? So you do want to be different in some aspect, but going back to what we said during the social media power hours, the 6 weeks, was being different doesn't mean having to have all like the glitz and glam, professional photography and all this. It just means that you are yourself. You are talking directly to your niche because that's how you naturally grow your brand and naturally grow your consumers who then reach out. So your algorithm, this is brand new. I have 4 or 5 Instagram accounts. I only have this feature on one of them. So it has not rolled out to everyone yet, but it's something to look out for. So on some accounts, there'll be a new icon on the top right corner of your Reels tab that looks like little hearts on a scale. So if you click on it, it shows your specific algorithm based on the posts that you interact with. So this can be modified now per user. This was never something that was able to be modified. It was if you clicked on one thing, then you saw that thing 17 times until Instagram was like, oh, they're not interested. So when you click on it now, it shows you something similar to what's on the left-hand side. Lately, you've been into real estate networking, baseball playoffs, and decorating on a budget. That is true. First-time home buyer, everything is expensive. No one told me how expensive blinds and chairs were. Like, are you kidding me? But decorating on a budget, definitely. So what you want to see more of based on your activity, summarized by AI, of course. So these are some of the things that I currently am looking at based on the things I comment on, I share, I interact with. And I can now, if you look on the bottom here, it says what you want to see less of. And my mouse kind of got in the way, but on the bottom left, you see what you want to see less of. You can actually add in there anything you want to see less of. So if you have, maybe you were sent something by a friend, you liked it, but it's not what you want to be seeing on your algorithm, you can now change that. You have the opportunity to change that where you didn't before. So why is this important to understand? It's important to understand because if you are posting diversely instead of just focusing on buying and selling content, there is a much bigger chance that you will grow your audience based on that. So I mean, as you can see on the left-hand side here, real estate networking, baseball playoff, decorating on a budget. This is all around kind of what my content is based on as well. And the one thing that's gotten me kind of the most engagement, views, comments, etc., has been the stuff that's not about real estate, because not everyone is buying and selling. And we've said that before. It's about up to 3% of the people that follow you on socials are currently active in the real estate market. How are you interacting with the other 97 to 99% of that? And the way I'm interacting is I talk a lot about baseball. I post a lot about, now I'll be posting about the Leafs because they're playing, although they suck. Sorry, Alroy. But I've also posted about myself in dance. I took dance for over 20 years. And that's something that a lot of people from my dance community started commenting on. We started conversations based on that. So it's these things, like her was saying about tech or small businesses in your community, that you are engaging with more of these people's algorithms based on your content, not based on who's following you. Is anyone super confused? No, let me check. Do we have any shaking heads? I didn't see Nancy, but I feel like she's nodding.
You can't see me? I'm here.
I can. I had you hidden because we're sharing our screen here.
Oh, so it's like that, is it? No.
Sorry.
I got the fly, by the way. I am a little bit confused, but I can watch this like 10 more times.
Yeah, 100%. And I was speaking with one of our agents yesterday, Carol. And you guys can always text me, call me. Carol's going to come in for a one-on-one session, and not about really anything we've specifically talked about, but just about what she wants to do and how she wants to use Instagram and Facebook. And I like all the way from showing you how to post to helping you create the content. I'm happy to do a couple one-on-one sessions with you just to get you started. And like I said, these social media power hours are for everyone. You don't have to be a social media guru, but I do know that it's a lot of information. And if you don't have an egregious screen time like I do, then there's probably a lot of content or tools that you're missing out on. And I just want to make sure that no one is missing out on them. The last couple that we're going to talk about are kind of super quick. So preview, I've only seen this pop up once. It is a new feature that may or may not be available. But on the left here, what I was doing was I was creating a reel on Instagram. And this popped up. Send a preview. Send to friends to get their thoughts before you post. No one can comment or share your preview. A draft will also be saved that you can access. So if you see this come up, this could be something that, again, if you are working on a team or you are collaborating with another agent on their listing on the marketing aspect of it, you can send it to them now and say, hey, this is what I've created. Do you think this is good? Do you think this is okay to post, etc.? I've done that. Carol McMonigal had a listing in Oakville. I asked her, hey, I'm in the area. Do you mind if I go take some like video and pictures for Instagram? She said, yeah, go ahead. So I created a reel. And what I had to do was I had to export it from Instagram before I posted it. Then I had to send it to her. Then I had to go back into Instagram. So Instagram's making this easier to collaborate, to preview posts. And you can always share it with me too. Like, I don't have to be the one that has the listing, or I don't have to be someone that you're working one-on-one with, but I'm always around. You can always send me stuff and just ask my thoughts or anything like that. So before we leave the Instagram universe, we've talked about watch time, which is how long a video is watched before someone scrolls away, and how that should be a minimum of 30% of the overall video. We've talked about the new features of auto scroll that we need to be aware of. We've talked about preview. We've talked about the new algorithm resets that people can do. This is all to say, just be cautious, not cautious, just be aware of what you're posting and why you're posting it. Are you posting it because you want to get a lot of likes? Are you posting it because you genuinely believe that content is going to benefit people? It's Instagram now has gone back to genuine value-based content. For a while there, it was, we've talked about the big text that people were using, all the big edits, all this. And I know my generation definitely, and I know Nancy and I have talked about this, the concept of content created fully by AI is not something that my generation particularly likes. It's not something that a lot of millennials like. And currently those are your two generations of my specifically first-time home buyers. Everyone's going to be different, but my niche, let's call it, they don't want to see that. They want to see my face. They want to see me talking. They want to see whatever I'm doing during the day is what's going to get genuine reactions because it's genuine content. So AI is super fun to play with, but again, we want to be using it to get ideas, not to fully create content that doesn't really have anything to do with us. So if you are at a point where this is all too much and you would just like to block all these socials, I have a tip for you. You can actually put time limits on your socials. So I've done this recently. It's helped me a lot. I no longer stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning scrolling. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Michelle.
It's my job, and then it like my job. That's my
job.
But it's not. So this is not a social media feature. And what I'm going to be talking about today is the iPhone. I'm sure it's available on Android too, or something like it. So you know how everyone gets those notifications of screen time on your iPhone? For me specifically, the week of Christmas, I was down 54%. Guys, it's bad. But I took that as a sign and said, you know what? I need to put some limits on my screen time. And it doesn't just have to be social media. This could be any apps. So for screen time specifically, you just go into your settings in your iPhone or any device, and you can go into where you would usually get those notifications for screen time, and there's something called downtime. And you can add whatever apps you want into a schedule. So from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m., Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all my socials, they're not available to me. And not only is this a good idea for anyone that feels like they're taking too much time on socials, but if you are a parent or your kids, family, friends, they have young kids that are starting, this is something good to share with them. This is also a very interesting piece of content to just share to your community. I know there's not a ton of people that use this. I'm sure that a lot of parents have used this with their young kids, but this I thought was just a really cool feature to bring up as we talk about social media. And if you're someone that just wants to limit their screen time or limit, okay, I only want to be dealing with Facebook and Instagram for 2 hours a day. Okay, great. Go into your phone and put that limit in there. Say, after 2 hours, cut me out of these apps. And that could be something that, maybe changes for you. That's kind of my New Year's resolution, is to not scroll as much. Although I started this on December 30th. So
There's always, you don't have to do it.
well, yes, thank you, Matthew. There is auto scroll. I don't have to actually scroll. Feel like he's going to be my downfall. He's trying to get to me. But this is just something I wanted to add as we talk about social media. And kind of similar to when I shared with you guys the click with caution YouTube session that we did. I'm always going to tell you guys to use socials, use online platforms, but I'm also always going to try and give you other features to protect yourself, put some limits on it, don't overdo it, make it fun. Like, I don't want this to be a secondary job for you guys, or like a fifth, sixth job, because we're all realtors. So I'm not asking anyone to be a content creator. I'm not asking anyone to have as much screen time as I do, but there needs to be some, and there's always ways around, reaching a point of a Gen Z scroller. So those were my tips and tools as we start the new year. But there's one other thing I want to talk about, but before we do that, does anyone want to share any other tools they've been using? They don't have to be an Instagram. They could be third-party apps, TikTok, anything someone wants to share about socials.
I think we've talked about this before, but leaving a comment, hearting something that you really like, really gets eyes on you. I've noticed that ever since I started leaving comments, positive comments, and liking posts, people have been viewing my content and then liking my content and then following me. So I've actually increased the amount of followers I have just by simply, as I'm scrolling, I'll see something that's really cool and be like, oh yeah, I really like that. That's a great feature. Thank you. Pro tip, try this, and people love that. So
yeah, and that's definitely something we've talked about in like the 5-5-10. So 5 comments, 5 follows, 10 likes. And that's a really good thing to also track. So tracking these things, just kind of noting them out, so you understand how the socials are changing the dynamic of your database of your consumers. Are they actually benefiting you, or do you seriously need to work on them, change something to get the benefit of it? Julia, did you have something to share?
I fell victim to one of those social media ads, and I downloaded something called the 3D Snap to take floor plans, and it's actually really good. I'm listing a little basement apartment for a friend, and I really didn't want to get floor plans done, so I used that, and it's like $40 for the year. But you can do 3Ds, you can measure the whole space by just walking around it. It's super fast, like super, super fast. And I did it both ways, by measure and by using the app, and it's accurate.
Yeah, let me add to that. There's another app called Cubicasa out there that'll do the same thing. In about 5 minutes, you can measure an entire house. I'm finding most of the photographers, the real estate photographers we hire, use that app. You know, and speaking of apps, if you're doing any video work, the Big View app is fantastic for teleprompting. So the words will scroll by your screen. You can read them, so it looks like you're still looking at the screen without reading a piece of paper in front of you. If you saw my newest YouTube video, I used the Big View teleprompter. It works fantastic.
I never would have known if you didn't tell me right now. I thought you had that all memorized.
Well, I read the script 3 times beforehand, and that's helpful. But yeah, no, it just scrolls by, and you can adjust the speed, slow the speed down. If you stop talking, it'll stop moving. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh,
I use
that's
that
It's
awesome.
too.
called Big View, Bigvvu.
Okay.
These guys that I hired to help me with my social media, with my YouTube videos, put me onto that. I'm like, that's a fantastic app.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So one other thing I wanted to share.
Question, was it Cuba Casa was the second app for doing floor plans, and how much is that a year?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I subscribed to it about a year ago, so I'm assuming my bill will be coming due soon. It
Okay.
wasn't much.
Thanks.
They give you
It's not
two or three free. Pardon?
It's per floor plan. So you don't pay anything until you use it.
Okay, and it's
Yeah,
called
I think
Cuba
they give you a
Casa?
free. They give you a free one or two to try it first. Cuba Casa, yeah, CUBI and then CASA. Do you remember, Herbert, how much it is per plan?
Yeah, it depends on the house, but you're looking at typically $20 to $30 per plan. The really good thing about it is you can upload your logo to it. You can change the colors. You can, what's really nice now is you can upload pictures to it. So it actually creates a walkthrough, just like some of the other listings you've seen. So it really is an all-in-one solution for floor plans and walkthroughs.
Does it, can you virtually stage it, and does it capture the furniture if you want it to?
Not yet. I don't know if it's coming out, the virtual staging, but everything else you can do.
Yeah, mine, I think I can virtually stage mine. I didn't, but I think you can virtually stage too.
What's
I've
the
got
name
a
of yours
play
again,
around.
Julia? Julia, what's the name of the one you use?
Yeah.
3D, I'll have to look it up again. Goodness, 3D Snap. And it was $40 for the year. $39.99, probably US.
I also wrote them all out here. So when I send up the follow-up, I'll make sure to add all those. All right. Like I said, just one more thing to share. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to channel my should have been a teacher talents. And I created this social media weekly planner because we're only meeting once a month and I don't want you guys to lose momentum. So the social media weekly planner, it outlines which month and which week. So month of January, week 1. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no Sunday. You can change this, whatever floats your boat. And then you have the goal for the week and accomplishments at the end. So the reason I made this is because I was thinking, you know what? I want us to actually see the benefit of using social media. You can use it however you want. It's a lot of blank space. But the way that I would go about using it is my goal for the week would be, okay, I want to get back into the rhythm of posting. So I'm going to say to myself, I'm going to post 4 times this week. And then I'm going to go through, I'm going to say, okay, Monday I posted this, Tuesday I posted that, or whatever the schedule is. And along the week, if I gain a few followers or I have maybe a conversation in my DMs that leads to a possible lead, then I would kind of note that down in each whatever day that happened. And at the end of the week, I would write out what I accomplished. Did I hit my goal? Did I hit a new goal? Did I end up getting a lead from social media that week that I wasn't anticipating? Or was I not able to hit my goal because of whatever reason? So this is something I will be sending out to you guys. I just wanted you guys to get a preview that this is something we've kind of come up with to ensure that, yes, we're only meeting every 4 weeks, but if you do this every week, if you sit down on a Sunday or a Monday and say, okay, my goal for the week with social media is XYZ, then that's something that you personally can start tracking and holding yourself accountable. And then each month we will hold you accountable. So I will be asking in our next session, who did this. I'll be able to show you guys my planners and stuff like that. But the other thing I'll be sending out and Anyone that's worked with me previously on those social media audits or has kind of been around for a while, there's a real estate online marketing sheet that I send out that shows, okay, these are some of the caption ideas. If you have a listing or you have an open house, these are some ideas of content, stuff like that. So I'll be sending that out as well with this, so you're not kind of lost and know where to go. You can also always call me, text me, whatever. I'm happy to share ideas. I had one time, one of my family friends that's in real estate, she reached out and said, okay, I want to do something along the lines of connecting the Louvre heist to social media. What do I do? And my first thought was, you could share 3 ways our team protects your home so it doesn't end up as the Louvre heist during an open house. Like just something catchy like that where you're actually sharing valuable information, but it's kind of funny. So I have ideas. We have ideas in the PDF that I'll send out. And we're also we are all very creative here. We have been on these calls for a long time. Everyone's got great ideas. Everyone, I think, has kind of found their niche and what they want to be better at. So it's a lot of collaborative work, collaborative ideas and stuff like that. So we are here. You are not alone in creating your social media posts. And I hope that kind of the tools I bring to you every month and the social media planners will help you kind of navigate the social medias, and hold yourself accountable for creating the content that needs to be created. Thoughts? That's all I have for today. So,
That was great. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Like I mentioned previously, I do the social media audits. So if anyone is interested what their online presence looks from a consumer standpoint, email me. I'm happy to do a social media audit of all your profiles and tell you where you're lacking and how we can fix it. So, and of course we will fix it together. But yeah, so that's something. And like I said, I'll be sending out all of the things we talked about. I have written down all the third-party resources that you guys shared, which was awesome. And yeah, it'll all be accessible in a Google Drive. So it'll just keep updating every month with all that content. And all these sessions are recorded, so you can find them on the YouTube channel as well. As Nancy said, you can watch it as many times as you need. Go back, look at just a certain segment. And yeah, we will definitely have some more tools and tips to share in February. But for our first social media power hour, that's all for me.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good week, everyone.
Thanks,
Yes, ma'am.
guys.